Hey there, this is LA Calling, and you're watching Brutally Delicious with Bruce Moore.
Hey, welcome to Brutally Delicious. I'm Bruce Moore. Today we've got another great show in store for you. This time we're joined by the guys at Iron Man. And if you stay tuned, we're going to see what they have cooked up for us today. Hey, welcome guys.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
I know you guys are busy. You're out on tour. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Good to see you, man.
You too, brother.
You want to introduce yourselves?
Hal Morris, lead guitar.
Bot drums.
Louis Strong, bass.
D. Calhoun, mouthful of carrot.
Wonderful.
And vocals.
And vocals.
And vocals. Excellent. So if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started. We've already started here. Shredded up some carrots. And we'll see where we end up, okay?
Sounds good.
So while he's cooking and shredding and doing what he's doing, some questions for you, and we'll just see where they end up.
Cool.
So you guys are currently out on the road at the moment. What, second night out? Third night? Second night out? How's it going so far? I know it's early, but going well?
Yeah, it's going good. Very good. Out with Trouble. Trouble's doing a bang-up show, and we're...
That's a good
Direct
matchup
support.
too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like a nice, doomy,
Old school
gloomy,
matchup.
old school matchup. Yeah, I love that.
Definitely.
Wonderful. The crowds have been okay?
Yes.
And how long is this tour take you out? A couple weeks?
Yeah, we'll be back next week, back home.
Like a week.
And then we gotta get ready to fly out to Italy.
Yes.
Oh, you're going over to Europe?
Yeah.
How many shows are you doing over there? Is it a
Just one big concert.
like a festival kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's like castle.
Castle of Doom.
Castle of Doom.
No, really?
Yeah.
In a real castle.
That's awesome.
Milan.
So one of those outdoor.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I think the building we're playing at actually has like a small like water around it. It's like a little.
Oh, so you've
not
got,
real,
you've got
not
the
a real
atmosphere.
boat.
Right, but you get the atmosphere and everything.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
wonderful.
Kind of,
It's gonna be.
Have you guys been to Italy before?
Nope.
No.
Oh, that would be great. Well, one-off though. You gonna get to spend some time hanging out over there, or you
Yeah,
there and back?
we'll be there a couple of days.
Yeah.
Well, actually 3 days. Then we fly out. I think that Monday.
Right.
Come back.
4th of July weekend.
Yeah. I don't think they celebrate that over there, but you'll still have a.
Right.
Yeah, awesome time.
I'm gonna talk to Al later about doing the Star Spangled Banner.
Look at you like you have no idea what you're doing.
Al
Little
Moore
Jimi
style.
Hendrix sort of thing. Yeah. Well, your album Southfield Birth has been out for what, about 6 months now, maybe?
Yeah, a little more.
Now that it's been out for a little bit, what's been the response to it so far?
It's been great.
Oh, yeah.
It's been great.
Everybody that picks it up loves it.
Good.
Everyone has a different song they like.
Right. Well,
You know, it's like you hear one song, everyone says they love this one song.
Right.
We get fans talking about the whole record. Oh, I love this song, or I love, it's been really good.
that's wonderful, and that's kind of going to jump ahead because that was one of my questions later on. Are there any tracks on it that are personal favorites or good stories behind them? And I'm sure you guys all have different ones as well, but
Well, Dean is the lyrics guy, so he has most of the stories.
There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on
Sure.
this record, and that's an overused statement, but in this case, it's very true. For me, it served as an outlet, and during the creating process, recording, writing, whatnot, it was all about the pain going into it. Now I can listen and hear the power,
right.
and
Yeah.
been getting feedback like that out on the road too.
So do you find yourself, I mean, if you're doing most of the lyric writing, do you find yourself drained after? Does it take its toll on you, letting it all out there on the...
No, actually, it's exactly the opposite. It's a release. It's like sicking something up, which
Right.
is just what you want to talk about
Right.
when you're preparing food.
Right.
Segue.
But it's metal, so I mean, you could get away with metal and food and throwing some of that stuff in, so.
That's right. Yeah, we have raw meat here. We
Right.
can throw at someone.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, what about you guys? Any personal favorites?
Well, I mean, let's see.
Was it hard to pick because they're all your babies, I'm sure.
The title track is good.
Right.
Yeah, we love the riff.
The riff
That
is-
riff is heavy.
That riff was around for a little while, and we were going to put it out, release it ourselves, but it was so heavy we were like, we better save it till we can get it, you know, to a nice big studio and get it recorded right.
Right. All right, well, speaking of the studios, what's your writing process like? Do you guys all write together? And if you do, are you writing in the traditional sense, like in a studio, or is it more technology?
Al normally comes up with the main riff. You know, he has a big
The Riffmeister?
Yes,
Yeah.
cassette tape of riffs galore.
What's a cassette tape?
No, actually,
I know, but I'm sure my son standing back there has no idea what a cassette tape is.
I do have a cassette that I first recorded some riffs on back in '85. And I've been pulling off of that for the last few years. I've been pulling stuff off of that. And what happens is I'll bring a riff in,
Kind of changes it.
something that I probably created recently. I'll bring it into the band and say, hey, listen to this. And if they like it, they figure out what they want to do from their own perspective. You know, we put it together, give it to Dr. D,
And
and
then
he
the
puts
magic.
We'll arrange it. We'll get a theoretical arrangement together and record it. And at that point, it's about just playing through the song, all of its parts, even if it's not tight. Even if we stop and say, okay, now it goes here.
Right.
Just so we play everything
Yeah, all the parts.
that's contained within
So
the
they're not
song.
necessarily in order, they're just there.
No,
You go back and see what's-
it'll be in order. And I can take it, dump it on the laptop,
Right,
And just
cut it together into the full
right.
seamless song, send it back. That way everyone has an arrangement to hear.
So you're going from cassette tape to digital laptop. That's quite a
Right.
progression.
Well, this is on a Zoom recorder.
Right, yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Now one song on South of the Earth, The Worst and Longest Day, it's really an old school jam type song.
Right.
You know, we changed some chord voicings here and there, add some flavor to it, just do different things with the riff. And when we're sitting down trying to arrange it, I mean, we're playing 10-minute versions of it.
Right.
And each version's different because, you know, we're just feeling it out. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to all these different renditions of this song, and I said, you know what? The complete song is in there. It just needs a little bit of surgery.
Right.
So I literally just started picking and choosing between,
So
and
like
whack.
excising out what you
Yeah, right, and whack, there's the whole song.
Trimming the fat.
Right.
And that's how that song was arranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break here since we are cooking. Let's what kind of tell us about your ingredients here. What do we have?
Just simple ingredients. We got some steak here. We got some carrots, green peppers, onions, some mushrooms. You know, some basic seasoning. You know, a little bit of garlic, salt.
So this is something pretty much anybody can do pretty quickly. I mean, there's
Yes.
nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Pardon me, I'm not trying to be insulting, but nothing super fancy about this. This
Absolutely.
is just
No,
something you put right together.
If this was super fancy, me attempting it, you'd have fireboards and rescue around for your house. Probably the hardest part of it is remembering to just marinate. You know, just some teriyaki sauce.
So we just had regular steak and then we put some teriyaki sauce in, letting that sit aside.
Right. And generally, if I'm planning on doing this at home, I'll let it sit overnight.
Right.
Let it chill overnight. This has been chilling for about 20 minutes.
Right.
In the interest of.
But if you're, but you can do this in a pinch. If you come home from work late, you gotta
Yes.
get it put together, you can do it, or
Yes.
you can plan ahead and let it sit overnight. So that's the beauty of it as well.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then of course, I'm just gonna recap. We got some bell peppers, some yellow onions, can of whole mushrooms,
Yes.
and teriyaki sauce. That's pretty much
Right.
it, right? And some carrots.
Yeah.
Nice and easy.
Yeah,
And you said we're not
exactly.
even using any oil, so that's it makes
Right.
it more
No, the teriyaki itself will, you know, keep things moving in there so that nothing scorches or anything.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we talked about how you guys record your records.
Yes.
Do you, when you're recording or when you're writing, are you writing with the live setting in mind, like how the song's gonna come across live on stage, or are you writing the song just for the song stage? And I know it's probably more directed at Al because it's riff based, but are you writing that riff so so it's powerful coming across the stage?
Exactly. I'm writing it for a multi-purpose. I want to know what does it sound like in somebody's basement. I
Right.
want to know what it sounds like in an arena.
Right.
In their car.
And that's how we do it.
Okay.
Your iPod.
Yeah, iPod.
Right. And I know you mentioned that some of the songs are like long form jams they end up turning out to. Do you find it difficult translating those into the live setting?
Well, it will get a little dicey if we've got a shorter set list to work with.
Right.
We may have to forego a song in that particular live setting just because it's going to eat up a lot of time. But we are very conscientious when we're writing about ear fatigue. How long is too long? We want things to flow well to keep people interested.
I never thought about that angle before, but I guess you do.
Yeah, with every little aspect of it, including how long is this thing going to run before vocals come in?
Right.
Just things like that. We don't want people who maybe are giving it a casual listen to go, they're beating this to death next,
Right.
Because I don't think we beat anything to death. And the reason for that is we're conscientious of it.
Right.
We do have some longer songs on this record, up into the 7-minute mark, which in the grand scheme of things, when you look at some of our contemporaries, that's not long at all.
Right.
But that's sort of the limit for us, but what we look at is, does it stay interesting? Does it keep moving throughout those 8 minutes so it just doesn't become stagnant?
Right. And not just on the iPod in the basement, but you're talking about live as well.
Right. Exactly.
Although if we are playing live and the crowd's getting into it, we'll keep it going.
So you can extend the jam sort of?
Yeah, like
and I hate
last
to use,
night we were
I
doing that.
hope I didn't insult anybody with this reference, but sort of like a dead kind of thing, you can just let it go? Can you jam? I mean, do you take them longer if it's...
We can. If the audience is feeling it.
We say longer, maybe what? Four more measures.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like a free-form jam.
Right, no, it's
We don't 4 minutes to the 16 or anything.
it's very structured, even though it's free form in the sense that it's sort of off the cuff, but it's still kind of structured.
Right.
I'm a big fan of the Honeymooners. Love Jackie Gleason.
Yeah.
And since that was done live, he had a phrase. If he didn't think the script was going well, during a commercial break, he called everyone together and say, "We're doing it Civil War style," which meant basically the script was out the window.
So you
follow
just
my
on the
lead.
fly?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
And that's kind of how I look at it. We'll have little segments for different songs, and if you feel the crowd, you can feel, hey, they're going to dig this.
Right.
And these guys know that if I step up there, because usually I cue it. It's a vocal part or an audience participation. It's a big word.
Yeah.
And we just run with it. We know where to go with it.
Okay.
In that sense. But again, it's keeping it reined in so that people aren't looking at their watch and saying,
Right, time to go get another beer. Right.
exactly.
Bathroom break.
Okay. All right, so now we gave you the preface earlier, PG-13, but keeping in mind it's PG-13, are there any strange or interesting stories that have happened on the road that you can that stand out as being exceptional? I know the PG-13 limits it quite a bit, but I'm sure there's something out there because we get quite a few people stop thinking, oh yeah, what about?
I'm going to leave Vegas out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, when you hear Vegas, your mind automatically goes here.
Right there with you.
Your mind automatically goes here, but in this sense, no, it was way over there somewhere.
Right.
The first show that I did with Iron Man in March of 2011 was in Pittsburgh. And the place we stayed was on a hill overlooking Heinz Field.
Okay.
And I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. So when I got to the top of that hill and saw Heinz Field down at the bottom of the hill, walked as close to the edge of that hill as I could without going down into the rivers.
Right.
And, took an honorary piss on it.
That's PG-13 and that's beautiful. I like that.
And my friends out there who are Steelers fans, love you guys, but it is what it is.
You took the high road on that, and I appreciate it, man. That was beautiful. All right, so what are we up to here?
All right, we're pretty much set. We got our steak cut up.
The process is one, but
Gonna go into the pan.
not too good.
Got our vegetables cut up. We got some onion, green peppers, some carrots here. They're going in.
And that's just all going right on in?
Yep.
Again, no oil?
No oil. We're gonna add more teriyaki once everything's in. Go with the mushrooms.
And we were talking about this earlier, I think the more mushrooms, the merrier.
Right.
Yes,
PG-13 now. Go with some light seasoning.
And that's all pretty much based on taste, right? A little salt, pepper.
Yeah.
and garlic powder, right?
That's the key.
I agree. In my book, you can never have enough garlic.
I learned that from his daughter, actually. She
Yes.
cooks really well.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. She told me that, and ever since then I've been hooking it up big time, and it's like amazing.
We like garlic on everything.
And we're gonna just douse.
And as far as heat-wise, what are we putting on? Medium high?
Medium high, because we're gonna keep it moving. It's not gonna sit and simmer.
Okay.
So we're not gonna have to worry about anything, scorching or frying up or whatnot.
You gonna set it on fire?
Flambe, stir fry flambe. Like Louisiana last night.
Oh yeah.
All right, so if you don't mind, while you're still stirring, now we got some questions more geared to letting the fans get to know you a little bit better. If that's cool. What would fans be surprised to find on your iPod? I'm sure it's not all doom, gloom kind of stuff, right?
Well, actually, it is. No, just kidding.
Just ate my words, but I've never come across anyone who just listens to straight up, bang your head metal.
Classic rock too. I do a lot of. Well, me and Mod are big Cheap Trick fans. Huge Cheap Trick fans. And I've seen them 1,000 times. And, some people are surprised by that.
Right.
But
Okay.
I
What
love
about you, Al?
You would hear classical.
Classical music.
Sure.
Nice.
Beethoven.
Right.
All the Mozart, stuff like that, and classic rock.
Right.
A lot of some of the 60s stuff from Streisand, maybe some Sinatra.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's right. So a wide range.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. What about yourself?
You'll find everything from the doom and gloom, classic metal, to Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, Johnny Cash. All on the drive down here, Al was trying to find us a radio station, and he flipped by hits of the 80s, and Madonna's Crazy for You was on.
It's crazy how many of those songs still stick in your head all these years. Like, wow.
And he almost jumped from the van when I started singing along to it. And I said,
I was actually waiting to say, what's he gonna do? And he was singing.
and I said,
Turn that car around.
and I said, hey, that was on an old mixtape I had back in high school, which mixtape is
We're back to cassette references again. This
There
is
you
great.
go. is a slightly less abrasive term for what was actually written across the tape.
Right. Right.
But yeah, a little bit of everything. I mean, you can play a certain genre of music, brings something from everything into it,
Right.
because it can just add so much flavor to it. And subliminal things, I've played a lot of country music, and you throw a root fifth bass line under something heavy, and people don't know what they're hearing, but they just know, hey, there's something
It's
a little
something different, right?
Yes.
I'm not a country fan at all, and maybe I just don't get it, but that's about the only thing that I don't find myself ever going to. But I'm definitely classical, jazz even, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I like all that.
But I can never really get, I guess maybe an understanding of country, even though I'm right in the middle of country. I live here in the middle of Countryville. There's nothing but country here, but it doesn't sit with me.
A lot of different songs. It's like time travel.
Yes.
What was I doing when I heard that?
Music
it
has
takes you right back.
instantly taking you right back.
Exactly.
And that's a wonderful thing.
We're time traveling and we don't even really know it.
Unlike anything else, though, I think, you hit that one song, like you just said, Crazy, or whatever,
Right.
a Hall & Oates song from the 80s, something, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm right back, on the streets in New York with, my old girlfriend or something. Walking
Exactly.
crazy,
Right.
right to it.
And that's the joy of it. And I hope that we create a little bit of that.
Right.
Where someone, picks up an Iron Man record and, in 30 years.
I was at Strange Matter when I heard that.
Exactly.
Right.
I saw him live on stage.
I was watching him cook stir fry.
Exactly.
Those were the sweatiest guys I ever saw.
Right.
We were on the road.
So staying along those same lines then, if you were stranded on a deserted island, you could have 3 records for all of eternity, assuming you had a solar-powered CD player. His eyes are getting wide right now. What would they be?
Master of Reality doesn't count.
That's got to be your biggest influence, right?
It is. It is.
Go ahead, since I've already thrown you out.
Wow. Maybe, wow.
That's a
Three? Only 3.
Only 3.
Stranded on an island. How about, yeah, well, I guess I have to do Sabbath Volume 4 then.
I'll use the Master of Reality then.
Okay.
You can use Master of Reality.
What else? How about Blue?
This is
That's all the way. Oh,
this is a time limit show.
This is, and if you can, you can pass it on. They've got time to think now. So
yeah, how about Iron Butterfly and they got the Vita? How about that? And BB King's Grease.
All right. Let's go out of order for a second because I know this is spinning.
I'm gonna say Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, and anything on Thin Lizzy, which is my favorite band. So I'll go with the. We'll go with
Thunder and Lightning.
Oh, I love it. That's a great one. We'll go with Black Rose with Gary Moore on guitar. That's an amazing album. And then I'm gonna go back to my junior high and go to Iron Maiden Killers, which is just like
That's a nice one.
when that came
That's
out.
called Piano still, right?
It was like
Yeah,
that album
that's
was
nice.
Last one.
that album was so awesome. When Number of the Beast came out, I thought it sucked. I was like, who's this new singer? It's like I didn't even like it. And I'm like thinking, what is this? It's not Paul. It's not. What is this?
I have to throw some old school in there too, like Holy Diver.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I could live without Holy Diver. I mean, that's still however many years old, 25, 30 years old.
It's still
Crazy
that
time.
It's all time.
You can put it on right now, and you'd be like,
Holy Diver.
you just feel it. It'll be like, oh my god, 30 years old.
Got any input?
I would have to probably go with Iron Maiden, Never the Beast.
Oh, see, the one I didn't like.
Then
I love it now, by the way.
Judas Priest, probably Hellbent for Leather,
Oh yeah.
and
There's so many.
actually Motley Crue Shout Out to Devil.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to
I'm
that
a
was.
huge Motley
He
Crue.
used that in his wedding song, in his wedding.
I don't blame you. That's a great one. I mean, I know Too Fast for Love was a great review in it, but I love
The
Shout Out
way
to Devil. That was just-
Too Fast was recorded, like the Leather Records version.
Like the whole
is
rawness?
Yeah, the rawness is
Oh, you
great.
can hear the youngness and the rawness of the
Yeah.
band. It was just
I like both of those.
But stuff like Two Bastard and oh my god, that album changed my life. I think.
Knock 'em Dead Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Just-
That was the time of the when MTV played videos.
Right.
They had all those great videos too. What was To Young to Fall in Love?
Yeah.
Mexican.
I mean, they were looking badass walking around.
And then,
I loved
and
it.
they go from leather to lace.
Yeah, right. Because then they went to theater. Then I don't know what to think anymore.
I know,
Right. Devil, totally right there with you.
Yes,
What about yourself?
Theater Pain had something about going home or coming home.
Yeah, that was.
Horses and Boys.
It did have one of their biggest hits, but I don't know if hits justify making it a deserted
It didn't
album.
have wasn't that album?
It's just time travel.
Would have died.
It's just time travel.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Something was going on when I heard that.
Right.
But that Shout Out to the Devil tour, I saw that tour. It was Ozzy, Wasted, and Crew.
Oh really?
Called Ozzy's Wasted Crew. Crew opened
Nice.
up, but Wasted opened up. Motley Crue was next, and then Ozzy was.
I saw them at the
It was
Beacon
awesome.
Theater on that tour with Rat opening up, and they would just. It was prior to In the Cellar. I don't remember what that little EP thing was.
Yeah, I just saw
Oh, it was just called Rats.
It's called- yeah.
It had Tawny Kitane's
Yeah.
legs with the rats.
Right, that's what we saw. It was at the Beacon Theater in this little tiny show. I'm like, wow, these guys are awesome. You know, never knew how big they were ever going to get, but
The Crew crushed it, man.
The question that the Rat EP always raises in my head: why aren't the rats? I don't know.
They don't know what we know.
it's PG-13.
Yes.
So we didn't get yours.
Do box sets count?
Yeah, you know, people have said that. Sure, I'll go with it.
The Black Box,
Tony Bennett.
The Rules of Hell, and is it Metalology or just Metology?
Metallica.
Who's that?
Judas Priest.
Oh, okay.
But actually, no, that's kind of cheating. Single albums, probably Volume 4, Stained Class, and Rainbow Rising.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Stargazer.
Yes, Stargazer.
Stargazer alone, just the rest of Rainbow Rising could be an NSYNC record.
That's Stargazer.
Stargazer pulls it
Okay.
off.
Do you find it difficult? Or do you intentionally try and vary the sounds from record to record?
Intentionally, yes.
You find that difficult, or do you find yourself like sliding back into the older records, or?
It's not
I think-
difficult. Oh, good.
I've just been in the band since 2011, and I as you know, I used to be an outsider, I guess.
Right.
I definitely, can see the progression of, different sounding stuff on.
Because you don't always want to make the same record.
Yeah, because I was a fan of these guys before I was playing,
Right.
with them. So I definitely think there's, a definite
Changing the sound.
change up, and it's not just slow, savvy stuff.
Right.
There's, I think
mean,
he
you
has
keep
a
your
lot of
signature sound.
Hendrix, sort
Yes.
of. It's not just we do not want to be a Black Sabbath,
Right.
rip-off band.
Clone
We don't want to
band.
be a clone band.
But you still have your signature sound as well, so you kind of have to work that in. And,
Yeah,
I mean, you constantly got to think about that, right? When you're
The signature sound is called heavy.
yeah, we
bone crushingly. Yes.
I mean, the first band that got me to where it separated. Oh, music, I like it, to something that, oh my God, what the heck? What is this?
Right.
Was Sabbath. I mean, I used to listen to like my mom and dad's like country albums, stuff on the radio.
Right.
And then my next door neighbor, he was the one that turned me on to like first 2 Sabbath records. Iron Maiden, Ozzy, AC/DC. It was like it turned, music into like, oh, it's kind of cool, the pop and country stuff, and then to this,
Right.
And it was like a whole new.
All right, I know I said we had no more questions, but I'll throw this out there anyway. I know I had a life-changing moment with one record. I mean, Diary of a Madman. I walked into the store and bought Diary of a Madman, and my life was never the same again. I know that sounds odd, but do you have any of those? Do you have a record that was like absolutely?
I don't have a
Something
record.
went off.
I don't have a record, but I have a moment in time. When I was 9 years old and saw Kiss on TV, Paul Lynde Halloween Special, which
I've seen repeats of
which
it
you
on
can
stage,
YouTube,
yeah.
and Domino's doesn't put that much cheese in it.
Right.
Your biggest pizza chain in the world doesn't use that much cheese
Thank
in a
you.
year.
Right.
But when I saw Kiss on TV, I was already into music. My brother-in-law had gotten me into Creedence and Grand Funk
Right.
and Alice Cooper, and it was like, wow, I dig music. But when I saw Kiss on TV, it was like, pow,
Right.
I want to do that.
That was like me with that Ozzy record. I mean, I clearly remember walking into this little record store and seeing it on the shelf. I had no idea what it was, just was intrigued by the cover. And the first, the drum rolls of Over the Mountain,
Yeah.
I'm done, that's it.
Those are some of your best buys when you buy from the album.
The path to heaven that started right then and there with those drum beats.
You know what Ozzy always reminded me of on the cover of that? He always reminded me of Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
Same here.
Thought about it,
Same
yeah.
here.
I don't hear anybody talk about that, but I'm like, wow,
I mean, looking back, it's absolutely cheesy, but it's clear as day. I remember seeing that record and going, that's the one.
Yeah.
And then life changed from there.
that's my favorite Oz record.
That happened when I saw that first Rush album in the record store. We never heard of them. We didn't know what it was. I said, but this has got to be good.
Right.
Grabbed it,
Drop the needle on it, and it's done.
boom.
Yeah.
And that's what iPods have killed in music.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how great was it 30 years ago to see the new Iron Maiden record in vinyl on the shelf?
Oh, I
with
know.
those big, beautiful pieces of artwork.
And I'm still old school. I do a lot of writing for magazines, like I said, but I'm still old school. I want the disc. I want to read the liner notes. I want to know who you're thinking.
Exactly.
I want to know everything. Who recorded it? Who produced it?
right.
I mean, when I was an engineer, I wanted to be like some of those engineers. I like that stuff. You lose that totally now. My son has no idea.
Have a cool ass nickname.
That's why the LPs,
One song.
that's why the LPs are revived now. Everything's
Yes.
coming back out on vinyl.
I hope they make a full comeback, but I don't know.
It's coming back. A lot of bands are putting them out. We have.
Our whole catalog's on vinyl now.
Yeah.
That's nice because it was a whole package. I mean, I used to love reading the back, looking at the artwork, the inside line, everything. It was a whole process. You put it on, you sit down, you spend an hour, 2 hours,
Right.
listening and reading and going, oh shit, that was great.
You get lost in the album cover.
Yes.
The music's playing.
Right.
Yeah. You're looking at it and you're like, man, this is cool. When you hear the music and it just goes together, it's like, wow.
You get things like Master of Reality and Back in Black, with the raised lettering and stuff like that.
That's just cool.
I mean, we lost that with CDs,
Right.
But just,
Yeah, the whole package
It's
is
a-
gone
it's
now.
a lost
People
art.
spend more time.
They've been
Yeah.
holding them up like a billion times now. You get a CD, you open it up, it'll open up to be this
Now,
big.
it's
not the same, is it?
All right, well, it looks like we're about ready to eat.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We'll take a break here and I'll go ahead and get some plates out and get it started. Well, here we are at my favorite part of the show, the eating. Probably the reason I do this show. Have people come by and cook for me, so I appreciate it. Let's give it a shot. It looks fantastic. And if we had smell-o-vision, you people at home would absolutely love this. It smells incredible in here.
Good job, Dave.
Dude, that's off the chain. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah, man.